Rejected Omega fed a pup. Every day, from nowhere, 5 white wolves attacked her cabin. They said barren Omegas were better off dead. Mira was about to prove them wrong, but first, she had to survive the winter alone. The rejection letter curled and blackened in the flames, joining the others. 3 packs, 3 identical responses. The words were seared into her memory. Barren Omegas have no value to our bloodline. Mira watched the fire consume the last shred of hope she'd been foolish enough to harbor. 5 years since the accident. 5 years since the fever that ravaged her body and left her sterile. 5 years since her own pack, her family, had looked at her with disgust and said, "You're worthless now." The cabin was silent except for the crackling hearth. No pack bonds humming in her chest. No family scents clinging to her skin. Just her, the wind outside, and the crushing weight of isolation. She'd been a healer once, respected, needed. Now she was nothing. Mira pulled her threadbare shawl tighter and moved to the window. Snow blanketed the frostpine territory, transforming the forest into a graveyard of frozen trees. Beautiful, deadly, indifferent, like everything else. She turned away, checking her dwindling supplies. Half a loaf of bread, dried herbs, a handful of root vegetables from her summer garden. Enough to last another week if she was careful, if she was lucky. The wind howled and something scratched at her door. Mira froze. Animals didn't come this close to the cabin. They knew better. The territorial laws were clear. No feeding strays, no harboring outsiders, no... The scratching came again. Weaker this time. She shouldn't open it, shouldn't risk it. The Frostpine enforcers already watched her with suspicion, waiting for an excuse to drive her further out, or kill her outright. The scratching stopped. Mira's hand was on the door before she could stop herself. The cold hit her first, brutal and sharp. Then she looked down. A pup, tiny, white as fresh snow, shivering so violently his whole body convulsed. "Oh gods!" The words escaped before she could catch them. The pup's eyes cracked open, pale blue, glazed with pain. He couldn't be more than 3 weeks old, barely weaned, starving, abandoned. Mira knew that look. She'd seen it in her own reflection often enough. She should close the door, walk away, let nature take its course. She scooped him up instead. His body was ice against her chest, his heartbeat fluttering like a dying bird. She kicked the door shut and carried him to the fire, wrapping him in the only blanket she owned. "Stupid," she muttered, rubbing warmth back into his tiny limbs. "This is so stupid." The pup whimpered, burrowing into the blanket. Mira's throat tightened. She heated goat's milk, precious, expensive goat's milk she'd bartered her best herbs for, and coaxed drops into his mouth. He was too weak to suckle properly, but he tried. Gods, he tried. "Come on," she whispered. "Come on, little one." It took an hour of patient, painstaking effort before he finally drank. His shivering eased, his breathing steadied. Mira sagged against the wall, exhausted. The pup curled into a ball, his white fur stark against the dark blanket, like a ghost. Something not quite real. "Ghost," she said softly. "That's what I'll call you, because you appeared from nowhere, and you probably shouldn't exist." He yawned, showing needle-sharp puppy teeth, and her chest ached. Over the next 3 days, Ghost grew stronger. He ate. He slept. He started exploring the cabin on wobbly legs, sniffing everything with intense concentration. Mira told herself it was temporary. She'd nurse him back to health, then release him into the wild. Wolves were resilient. He'd survive. She was lying, and she knew it. On the 4th night, she sat by the fire with Ghost in her lap, stroking his soft fur. He'd fallen asleep immediately, trusting her completely. The loneliness cracked open inside her chest. "They said I'd never be a mother," she whispered to the sleeping pup. Her voice broke. "They said I was worthless without the ability to bear children, that I had nothing to offer." Ghost's ear twitched in his sleep. "But maybe I can be yours, just for a little while." Tears burned her eyes. Just until you're strong enough. Then you'll leave. And I'll be alone again, and that's fine. I'm used to it. The lie tasted bitter. Ghost shifted, pressing his small body against her stomach, like he was trying to comfort her. Mira's breath hitched. She buried her face in his fur and let herself cry. Great, heaving sobs she'd been holding back for 5 years. All the grief, all the rage, all the crushing, suffocating worthlessness. Ghost didn't move, didn't pull away. He just stayed, warm and solid and real. When the tears finally stopped, Mira felt hollowed out. Empty, but also lighter somehow. "Thank you," she whispered. Ghost's tail thumped once against her leg. She carried him to her bed, a thin mattress on the floor, and curled around him protectively. He snuggled into the curve of her body, sighing contentedly. For the first time in 5 years, Mira didn't feel alone. Outside, the wind picked up. Snow battered the windows. The fire burned low, casting dancing shadows across the walls. And in the darkness beyond the cabin, 4 pairs of glowing eyes appeared. They moved silently through the trees, massive shapes that shouldn't exist. White fur, ancient power, predatory grace. They'd been searching for weeks, following faint trails, chasing rumors, growing more desperate with each dead end. Now they stood in formation, watching the small cabin with its single lit window. The largest wolf, scarred, battle-worn, lifted his muzzle and scented the air. His eyes widened. A low growl rumbled through his chest, and the others tensed. Inside the cabin, Ghost's scent was clear, alive, safe. And tangled with his scent was something else. Something that made the scarred wolf's hackles rise. Omega. She'd fed their brother, sheltered him, kept him alive when he should have died. The scarred wolf's lips pulled back, revealing teeth like knives. The bond had already begun. Whether she knew it or not, the Omega was theirs now. Chapter 2. The Wolves Who Shouldn't Exist. 5 wolves that shouldn't exist were about to shatter everything Mira thought she knew about survival. And she'd invited them in the moment she saved their brother. Mira woke to growling. Ghost stood at the window, his small body rigid. His hackles raised in a pathetic attempt at intimidation. For a 3-week-old pup, he looked almost comical. Until Mira saw what he was growling at. 5 massive white wolves circled her cabin. Her breath stopped. They were huge, bigger than any wolf she'd ever seen, bigger than alphas, bigger than anything natural. Their fur gleamed like fresh snow in the pre-dawn light, and they moved with synchronized precision that made her skin prickle. Predators, apex predators, and they were hunting. Mira grabbed her silver knife from beneath her pillow, the only weapon she owned, practically useless against wolves this size, and pressed her back against the wall. Ghost's growling intensified, high-pitched and desperate. The wolves didn't attack. They just watched. Their eyes glowed in the darkness. 5 pairs, all fixed on her cabin. On her. Mira's hand shook. She should run, barricade the door, shift and fight even though she'd lose. Instead, she stood frozen as the largest wolf, scarred across one eye, a mark that spoke of violence survived, stepped forward. The air shimmered. Bones cracked and reformed. Fur receded. Within seconds, a man stood where the wolf had been. Naked, scarred, terrifying. His eyes, pale silver, locked onto hers through the window, then shifted to Ghost. No. The word ripped from Mira's throat before she could stop it. She moved in front of the window, blocking Ghost from view. Stupid. Suicidal. But her body acted on instinct. The man's expression didn't change. He walked to her door and knocked. 3 deliberate strikes. Open the door, Omega. His voice was gravel and smoke. Command threaded through every syllable. Mira's Omega instincts screamed at her to obey. She gritted her teeth and raised her knife instead. Go away. You have our brother. Her stomach dropped. I don't know what you're talking about. The pup, white fur, 3 weeks old, nearly dead a week ago. His eyes bored into hers. You saved him. We can smell him on you. Ghost whimpered and tried to squeeze past her legs. She caught him with her free hand. He was dying, Mira said. I wasn't going to let him die. Then open the door. So you can kill me and take him back? Something flickered in the man's expression, almost like surprise. We don't kill those who show mercy. Everyone kills Omegas like me eventually. His jaw tightened. Open the door. Mira weighed her options. If they wanted to break in, they could. 5 wolves against 1 Omega and a pup. No contest. She unlocked the door. The man entered first, his massive frame filling her small cabin. The scent hit her immediately. Pine and ice and something ancient. Wrong. Other. Not from any pack she knew. He crouched in front of Ghost, who'd broken free from Mira's grip. The pup hesitated, sniffing cautiously. Then his tail wagged so hard his entire body wiggled. Ghost launched himself at the man, yipping excitedly. The scarred stranger caught him, cradling him with surprising gentleness. Kael, the man's voice cracked. You're alive. Mira blinked. His name is Ghost. His name is Kael. He's our youngest brother. The man, Kael's brother, looked up at her. I'm also Kael. He was named for me. That's confusing. We'll call him Ghost if you prefer. He stood, tucking the pup against his chest. You fed him, sheltered him, cared for him. So what? Mira snapped, defensive. He needed help. Any decent wolf would have done the same. No. Kael's eyes held hers. They wouldn't have. 3 packs in this territory. Ghost was left on all their borders. They all turned him away. The words hit like a physical blow. But you didn't, Kael continued. You saved him even though you're alone. Even though feeding strays violates territorial law. Mira's grip tightened on her knife. If you're here to report me, we're here to thank you. The air shimmered again. 4 more wolves shifted into human form and entered her cabin. Mira backed against the wall, knife raised. Too many. Too close. Her cabin had never felt smaller. Easy, Omega. A dark-haired man with calculating eyes raised his hands. We're not here to hurt you. Theron, Kael said. Strategist. The one built like a brick wall is Cassius. The silent one is Aldric. And the youngest besides Ghost is Rowan. Mira's eyes darted between them. All white-haired except Theron. All massive. All watching her with unsettling intensity. What pack are you from? She forced steel into her voice. None you'd know, Theron said carefully. We're old. That's not an answer. It's the only one we can give right now. Cassius crossed his arms. His scent was aggressive, alpha-edged. We've been searching for Ghost for 3 weeks. Searching where? How did he end up at my door? The 5 brothers exchanged glances. Some silent communication passed between them. Rowan spoke first, his voice younger than the others. He was stolen. Taken from our den by rival wolves who wanted to send a message. What message? Mira demanded. That we're not welcome here, Kael said quietly. That our kind doesn't belong. Your kind? No one answered. Ghost, little Kael, squirmed in his brother's arms, reaching toward Mira. She hesitated, then took him. He immediately snuggled into her chest, purring. Big Kael watched this with an unreadable expression. Then he did something that shocked her. He knelt. You kept him alive when he should have died, he said, voice rough with emotion. You fed him, warmed him, protected him. By our law, that makes you family. You're owed a debt. I don't want a debt. Mira's voice shook. I just wanted to help him. We know. Aldric spoke for the first time, his voice barely above a whisper. That's why it matters. Theron stepped forward. We'd like to stay nearby, until we're certain Ghost is fully recovered, and until we're sure the wolves who took him won't come back. No, the word burst out. No, you can't stay. If the Frostpine enforcers find you here, they won't, Cassius said flatly. We're good at not being found. I don't need protection. I don't need anything from you. Mira held Ghost tighter. Just take him and go. Kael stood, moving closer. Too close. She could feel the heat radiating from his skin, smell that strange, ancient scent. His eyes met hers, and something inside her chest pulled tight. Too late, Omega. His voice dropped, intimate and absolute. You fed one of the White Fangs. That bond is sacred. Whether you want it or not, you're ours now. White Fangs? Mira's breath caught. That's a myth. They're extinct? Theron's smile was sharp. That's what we let people believe. The other four moved closer, not threatening, not aggressive, surrounding her, claiming her. Mira's instincts screamed conflicting messages. Run. Stay. Submit. Fight. Ghost licked her chin, oblivious to her panic. This is insane, she whispered. You can't just, I don't belong to anyone. You belong to yourself, Kael agreed. But you also belong with us now. The bond is already forming. Can't you feel it? She could. Gods help her, she could. A thread of connection pulling between her and these strange, impossible wolves. Warm, solid, terrifying. I saved one pup, Mira said desperately. That doesn't mean, it means everything, Rowan interrupted. His eyes were kind. To us, it means everything. Kael reached out slowly, giving her time to pull away. When she didn't, he touched her face, just his fingertips against her cheek. The bond flared, hot and bright. Mira gasped. We'll camp outside, Kael said softly. We won't force our presence on you, but we're not leaving. Not until we know you're safe. Safe from what? From whatever made you think you had no value. His thumb brushed her cheekbone. From whoever convinced you that you're worthless. Mira jerked back, clutching Ghost. You don't know anything about me. We know enough. Theron's expression hardened. We know you're alone, exiled, surviving on scraps in a territory that doesn't want you. That's my problem, not yours. It became ours the moment you saved our brother, Cassius said. Aldric nodded silently. Mira looked at Ghost, little Kael, who'd fallen asleep against her chest. Completely trusting, completely safe. She'd made a terrible mistake. She'd thought saving one pup would fill the emptiness for a few days. Instead, she'd bound herself to 5 ancient, powerful wolves who saw her as something more than broken, and she had no idea what that would cost her. Chapter 3. The Bond That Shouldn't Be Possible. Kael won't leave. Mira discovers this at dawn when she opens her door to find him sitting on her porch steps, back straight, eyes scanning the tree line. Ghost is curled at his feet. You're still here. We protect what's ours. He doesn't look at her. I'm not yours. Now he looks. His gaze is steady, unflinching. Tell that to Ghost. The pup is already bounding toward her, tail wagging, and damn it, her traitorous heart lifts. She crouches, letting him lick her face, trying to ignore how Kael watches them with something unreadable in his expression. Where are the others? Close. That's all he says. But when she grabs her gathering basket an hour later and heads into the forest, Cassius appears between the trees like he's been waiting. Going somewhere? Herb gathering, alone. No. He falls into step beside her, moving with the fluid grace of a predator. Not anymore. She stops walking. I've been alone for 5 years. I think I can manage. 5 years, he interrupts, where no one was actively hunting you. The words hit like a slap. Hunting me? For what? But Cassius just gestures forward. Show me where you're going. I'll keep watch. She wants to argue, wants to rage at him, at all of them, for turning her quiet life upside down. Instead, she walks. Because part of her, the part that's been lonely for so long she forgot what company felt like, doesn't actually want to be alone. The morning sage grows near the creek. She kneels, carefully cutting stems, aware of Cassius circling the perimeter. He doesn't speak, doesn't intrude, just watches, like she's something worth protecting. It's unsettling. Why do you care? She finally asks. He's quiet so long she thinks he won't answer. Then, Ghost chose you. That's not a small thing. Our brother doesn't trust easily. He's a puppy. He's a White Fang. Cassius crouches nearby, eyes still scanning. We know betrayal when we smell it. We know danger. Ghost slept beside you for 3 weeks. That means something. It means he was cold and I had a fire. Cassius's mouth quirks, almost a smile. Keep telling yourself that, Omega. By midday, she's ready to scream. Aldric chops her entire woodpile without being asked, restacking it with silent efficiency. Rowan appears with 2 rabbits, already cleaned, and sets them by her door. Theron reorganizes her herb stores, grouping them by healing property with the precision of someone who's done this before. Stop helping me! She finally explodes when she finds Kael inside her cabin, repairing the loose floorboard she's been meaning to fix for months. I didn't ask for any of this. He drives the final nail home before looking up. No, you didn't. Then why? Because you saved our brother when no one else would. He stands, and the cabin suddenly feels smaller with him in it. That makes you rare. Precious. She laughs. It's a bitter sound. Precious, right. That's why 3 packs rejected me. That's why my own family cast me out after the healer declared me barren. Because I'm so precious. The temperature in the room drops. All 5 brothers have somehow materialized. Cassius at the door, Theron by the window, Rowan near the hearth, Aldric blocking the back entrance. She's surrounded. Who told you that? Theron's voice is careful, dangerous. The healer, after I fell. She's not sure why she's telling them. Maybe because they're listening like it matters. Gathering mountain sage, slipped on wet rock, fell 30 feet, broke something inside that never healed right. Couldn't shift properly for months. When I finally could, the damage was done. What pack? Cassius asks, and there's murder in his tone. She shakes her head. Doesn't matter anymore. They made it clear I was useless. Couldn't breed. Couldn't strengthen the bloodline. My own mother told me I was better off alone than shaming them further. Ghost whines, pressing against her leg. She touches his head automatically, finding comfort in the contact. Let me see your scar. Kael's voice cuts through the silence. What? No. Mira. He steps closer. Let me see it. Why would I? Please. The word is so unexpected, so raw, that she finds herself lifting her shirt before she can think better of it. The scar runs jagged across her lower abdomen, pale and raised. She's always hated it. Proof of her brokenness, her failure. Kael kneels. His fingers hover over the scar without touching, and she sees his jaw clench. This wasn't a fall. I was there. I fell. You were clawed. His eyes meet hers, and they're blazing. 4 parallel marks, deliberately placed. Someone pushed you. Someone wanted you injured in exactly this way. The world tilts. That's not, I would have known. You were young, Theron says quietly. In pain. Probably in shock. Easy to convince you it was an accident when you were bleeding and broken. But why? Her voice cracks. Why would someone do that? The brothers exchange glances, having some silent conversation she's not part of. Finally, Aldric speaks. He's been so quiet she'd almost forgotten he was there. Someone wanted you gone. Someone wanted you to think you were broken. He moves closer, and his scarred face is surprisingly gentle. You're not broken, Mira. You're surviving something most wolves wouldn't. She wants to argue, wants to deny it. But the pieces are clicking together with horrible clarity. The healer's too quick diagnosis, her mother's sudden coldness, the way everyone seemed eager to see her leave. I don't understand. Her hands are shaking. I was nobody, just an Omega. Why would anyone care enough to... That's what we need to figure out. Kael stands, and his presence is solid, grounding. But not tonight. Tonight, you need rest, she almost laughs. You think I can sleep after... You will. Rowan is suddenly beside her, pressing a cup of tea into her hands. Chamomile and valerian root, your own blend. Drink. She does, because her hands need something to hold and her mind is too fractured to refuse. The tea is warm, familiar, made from her own carefully dried herbs. We'll keep watch, Cassius says. You don't have to. Yes, Kael interrupts. We do. She wakes in darkness, disoriented. Ghost is curled against her side, his small body warm and solid. That's not unusual. What's unusual is the 5 wolves surrounding her bed. All in wolf form. All massive and white and terrifying. Positioned like sentries, like guardians, like pack protecting their own. She should be afraid. They could kill her in seconds. Should probably want to kill her for the trouble she's apparently bringing them. But she's not afraid. She's never felt safer in her life. Kael's wolf raises its head, golden eyes meeting hers in the moonlight. There's a question there. Permission. Reassurance. She should tell them to leave. Should reclaim her space, her independence, her carefully constructed solitude. Instead, she closes her eyes and lets sleep take her. For the first time in 5 years, she doesn't dream of falling. She dreams of running. Fast and free, with pack at her side and wind in her fur. When she wakes at dawn, they're gone. But their scent lingers, wild and clean and impossibly safe. And that terrifies her more than anything, because she could get used to this, could start depending on them, needing them, wanting them. And she knows with the bitter certainty of experience that anything she allows herself to need will eventually be torn away. It always is. Chapter 4. The Truth About White Fangs. We need to tell you what we are, Kael says. Before someone else does. Mira looks up from the rabbit stew she's stirring. All 5 brothers have gathered in her cabin, taking up every inch of space. Ghost is curled by the fire, watching them with knowing eyes. You're wolves, she says carefully. White Fangs. You already told me that. No. Theron leans against the wall, arms crossed. We told you our pack name, not what it means. The way he says it makes her stomach tighten. She sets down her spoon. Kael steps forward. The White Fangs aren't just a pack. We're royalty. From the old bloodlines. She blinks. Royalty. Our kind ruled the wolf territories centuries ago, Rowan says. His voice is quieter than usual, almost reverent. Before the Great Purge. Before we were hunted to near extinction. Mira's mind races. She's heard stories, legends about ancient wolves with abilities that defied nature. But they were just stories. Warnings parents told children about hubris and power. You're saying those legends are real. We're saying, Cassius corrects, that we're the last of them. 6 brothers, born to a queen who died protecting us from the packs who wanted us eliminated. 6 brothers. She counts automatically, 5 standing in her cabin and Ghost by the fire. Why? The question comes out sharper than intended. Why would they want you dead? Power? Aldric's voice is rough, unused to speaking this much. White Fangs have abilities normal wolves don't. Heightened senses that can track prey for miles. Accelerated healing that can survive wounds that would kill others. And he stops. Looks at Kael. Kael's jaw tightens. And the ability to share bonds with chosen mates. True bonds. The kind that connect souls, not just bodies. Mira's throat goes dry. That's not possible. Bonds like that are myths. No. Kael's eyes hold hers. They're just rare. So rare that most wolves live their entire lives without meeting a true mate. But White Fangs can sense them, recognize them, claim them. The cabin feels too small suddenly. Too warm. Why are you telling me this? She hates how her voice wavers. Because you're in danger now, too. Rowan moves closer and his expression is pained. You carry our scent. You're bonded to Ghost. Anyone hunting us will come for you. Rage ignites in her chest. You should have told me before you claimed me, before you decided I was yours to protect. Would you have let us stay? Kael's challenge is immediate. The truth sticks in her throat. No, she wouldn't have. Would have sent them away before they could complicate her carefully isolated life. That's what I thought. Kael says quietly. There's more. Theron pushes off the wall, and his strategist's mind is clearly working through how to phrase this. White Fangs are sterile with normal wolves. Our bloodline is too different, too potent. We can only reproduce with true mates. The irony hits like a physical blow. They're telling her she's too broken to have children, just like everyone else has, but dressing it up in mystical language. So, you're saying even if I wasn't barren, she says bitterly, I still wouldn't be compatible. Good to know. Mira, Cassius starts. No. She holds up a hand. I get it. You're special, ancient, powerful, and I'm just the Omega who happened to save your brother. You've bound me to you for my own protection. How noble. It's not like that, Rowan's voice cracks. Then what is it like? Silence, heavy and suffocating. Finally, Theron speaks. Your scent has changed, she stares at him. What? Since we arrived, since we've been near you. He exchanges glances with his brothers. You've started smelling like pack, like family. Like mate, Aldric finishes. The world tilts. That's not possible. We know, Kael's voice is strained. But it's happening. All 5 of us have noticed it. All 5 of us are fighting the pull. 5, her voice climbs. You're saying all 5 of you. True mates can be singular or multiple, Theron explains, falling into lecture mode like it's safer than emotion. In White Fang history, there have been cases where one mate was compatible with multiple brothers. It's rare, but you think I'm that? She's backing toward the wall without meaning to. You think I'm mate to all of you. We don't know. Kael's honesty is brutal. We've never felt anything like this before, but yes, it's possible. Cassius moves then, closing the distance between them with 2 strides. His hand comes up to cup her face, and she should pull away but doesn't. I haven't felt a mate bond in 200 years, he says, and his voice is wrecked. I thought I'd never feel it again. I'd accepted dying alone, wandering, always searching for something I'd never find. His thumb brushes her cheekbone. Then you opened your door to Ghost, and everything changed. You changed everything. Her breath catches. 200 years, you're old. His smile is sad. We're all old, Mira. We've watched generations of wolves live and die while we've stayed hidden, moving territory to territory, always hunted, never safe. Ghost's kidnapping wasn't random, Rowan adds. It was bait. Someone knew taking him would draw us out. Who? Mira asks. Rival packs. Theron's voice hardens. Alphas who fear what would happen if White Fangs returned to power. They've spent centuries ensuring we stay extinct. But you're not extinct. No. Kael's smile is grim. We're just very good at hiding. Or we were, until Ghost. Ghost whines from his place by the fire, like he knows they're talking about him. Mira's mind spins. So someone took Ghost to draw you out, to kill you, and now I'm involved because I saved him. Yes, 5 voices answer in unison. She wants to be angry, wants to rage at them for dragging her into this, but beneath the anger is something else, something that's been growing since they arrived. Want. She wants them here, wants their protection, their presence, their attention. And that terrifies her more than any ancient bloodline or hunting pack. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, she finally says. Neither do we. Kael's admission is raw. We came here to retrieve Ghost and leave. We didn't expect... He gestures helplessly between them. This. The bond is growing stronger, Theron warns. Every day we stay, every moment we're near you, it deepens. Soon it won't be something we can fight. Can I fight it? Mira asks. The brothers exchange glances again. Theoretically, Theron hedges. But it would hurt, Rowan adds quietly. Both you and us. True mate bonds aren't meant to be denied. And if I'm not your true mate, if this is just, I don't know, proximity, gratitude, coincidence, then the pull would fade, Kael says. But Mira, it's not fading. It's getting stronger. She closes her eyes. 5 ancient wolves. 5 brothers from a bloodline thought extinct. 5 potential mates drawn to the one Omega, everyone else declared worthless. It's too much. Too impossible. A howl splits the night. Everyone freezes. It's not the howl of greeting or pack communication. It's the howl of the hunt, of bloodlust, of wolves who found their prey. Another howl answers, then another, then a dozen more. Cassius is at the window instantly, peering into darkness. They're surrounding us. How many? Kael's voice drops to Alpha Command. 20. Maybe more, Theron curses. They found us faster than I expected. They were probably tracking us the whole time, Aldric says, waiting until we'd identified what we were protecting. All eyes turn to Mira. They're here for you, she realizes. And now for me. Yes. Kael's transformation is instant, from conflicted male to lethal alpha. Cassius, Aldric, take the north approach. Theron, Rowan, cover the south. I'll protect Mira and Ghost. We should run, Mira says. Too late. Cassius's voice is grim. They're already at the perimeter. A wolf appears at the window. Dark fur. Eyes that glow blood red in the moonlight. Then another. And another. They're surrounded. Kael shifts, his human form rippling into massive white wolf in seconds. He positions himself between Mira and the door, hackles raised, teeth bared. His brothers follow suit. 4 more white wolves, each the size of a small horse, filling her cabin with predatory power. Ghost presses against Mira's legs, whimpering. Outside, the hunting howls grow louder. And Mira realizes with cold certainty that whatever happens next will change everything. The door explodes inward. Chapter 5. The Attack That Exposed. Everything. 20 wolves emerge from the forest. Dark fur, blood-red eyes, teeth bared in synchronized snarls. The 5 White Fang brothers shift instantly, their massive white forms creating a protective wall around Mira and Ghost. The cabin's walls seem to tremble with the power radiating from them. A wolf larger than the rest steps forward. His shift is slow, deliberate, meant to intimidate. Alpha Garrick. His human form is scarred, muscular, ancient with the kind of cruelty that comes from decades of hunting. His smile is all teeth. The White Fangs. His voice is gravel and malice. I've been tracking you for 3 months. Imagine my delight when you finally stopped running. Kael's wolf growls, the sound vibrating through Mira's bones. Hand over the royals, Garrick continues, and we'll let the Omega live. She's not part of this, not yet. Kael shifts. His human form is naked, unconcerned, radiating alpha dominance. Touch her, and you won't leave this forest alive. Garrick laughs. 5 against 20? I like those odds. Then you're a fool, Theron's voice comes from the left. Still in wolf form, still ready. The attack comes fast. 10 wolves surge forward. The White Fangs meet them head-on. The collision is brutal, fur and fangs and blood spraying across snow. Mira stumbles back, Ghost pressed against her legs. She's not helpless. Won't be. Her hands find the jars on her shelves. Wolf's bane powder. Caustic nettle. Ground ghost pepper mixed with silver dust. A dark wolf breaks through, lunging for the cabin entrance. Mira throws. The powder explodes in the wolf's face. It screams, actually screams, pawing at burning eyes and lungs. The Omega fights! Garrick sounds delighted. How refreshing! Cassius takes down 2 wolves simultaneously, his jaws crushing one's throat while his claws disembowel another. Aldric is silent death, moving through enemies like water. Rowan fights with youthful fury, all speed and precision. But there are too many. A wolf gets past Theron's defense, heads straight for Ghost. Mira doesn't think, doesn't hesitate. She throws herself in front of the pup, arms spread wide. The wolf's claws tear across her chest, 4 parallel gashes. Deep, burning, the exact same place as her old scar. She goes down hard. Blood pools hot beneath her. The world tilts sideways. Ghost is screaming, a high, terrified sound. Kael sees her fall. Something breaks inside him. His power explodes outward, pure alpha command, the kind that exists in legends, the kind that hasn't been felt in centuries. Submit. Half the attacking wolves drop instantly. Their legs give out. Their wolves forced into submission by sheer dominance. The White Fangs descend on the rest. The battle is over in minutes. But Mira can't breathe, can't think. Fire spreads through her veins from the wound, turning her blood black. Poison. No, 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 no. Kael is beside her, human again, hands hovering over the wound like he's afraid to touch. Mira, stay with me. Her vision blurs. Ghost. Is he safe? You saved him. You saved all of us. His voice cracks. But you're dying. The brothers crowd around. She can see their faces through darkening vision. Theron's calculating panic. Cassius's raw anguish. Aldric's silent tears. Rowan's youth-stripped horror. The poison, Theron says, voice tight. He's examining her wound, her old scar. It's the same. Someone tried to kill you 5 years ago, and they just tried again. What? Kael's roar shakes the cabin. Look. Theron traces both scars. Same entry points, same poison signature. This wasn't random. This was planned. Mira tries to speak. Can't. The poison is shutting down her lungs. There's only one cure, Aldric says quietly. True mate bond, complete claiming. The healing that comes from, she's unconscious. Rowan's voice breaks. She can't consent, can't choose. Silence, heavy with impossible choice. Let her die, or claim her without permission. We can't, Cassius sounds destroyed. We can't force this on her. Then she dies. Theron's logic is brutal. In approximately 4 minutes, Mira's breath rattles. 3 minutes now. She saved Ghost. Rowan's tears fall freely. She saved all of us. I won't let her die because we're too noble to save her back. It's wrong, Cassius insists, but his voice wavers. Dying is wrong. Kael's tone shifts. Alpha command entering. Decision made. We claim her, all of us, and we pray she forgives us when she wakes. Kael, now. He's already shifting back to Wolf, moving to position himself at Mira's head. We're out of time. The brothers hesitate, then shift. 5 white wolves surrounding one dying Omega. The ritual is ancient, instinctive. Each brother places their muzzle against her skin, throat, wrists, heart. Their power flows into her, marking her, claiming her, binding her to them in ways that transcend consent and choice. 5 white wolf prints appear on her skin, one from each brother, forming a perfect circle over her heart. The bond snaps into place. The sensation is everything, every emotion multiplied by 5, every heartbeat synchronized, every breath shared. The poison fights back. But the bond is stronger. Ancient magic meeting ancient poison, and magic wins. The black veins recede. The wounds close. The burning stops. Mira's eyes fly open. They're glowing silver. She gasps, drawing in air that tastes like pack and power, and something fundamentally changed. The brothers shift back to human, scrambling around her. Mira? Kael's voice is wrecked with hope and fear. Can you hear me? She can hear him, can hear all of them. Not just voices, emotions, intentions. Everything they feel floods through the bond like a second heartbeat. Kael, fierce relief, crushing guilt, desperate hope. Theron, analytical satisfaction, moral conflict, protective fury. Cassius, raw devotion, ancient longing, terrified joy. Aldric, quiet love, steady strength, absolute certainty. Rowan, youthful adoration, playful warmth, fierce loyalty. 5 voices in her head. 5 souls tangled with hers. What did you do to me? Her voice is hoarse, unfamiliar. We saved you. Kael's honesty is brutal. We claimed you without permission, without consent, and I'd do it again. She should be furious, should rage at them for taking her choice. But she can feel their agony through the bond, the impossible decision, the seconds ticking down. The choice between her death and her autonomy. You should have let me choose, she whispers. There wasn't time. Theron's logic is gentler now. 30 seconds left, maybe less. And if I'd said no? She forces herself to sit up. The movement is easier than it should be. Stronger. Then you'd have died, Kael says simply, and we'd have spent eternity regretting we asked. The truth of it echoes through the bond. They would have honored her refusal, would have watched her die, would have broken themselves on the altar of her autonomy. I hate you, she says, but the bond betrays her. They can feel what she really means. I hate that I understand. I hate that I'm grateful. I hate that part of me wanted this. We know, Cassius says softly. We can feel it too. Right. The bond goes both ways. Her emotions, her thoughts, her everything, laid bare to 5 ancient wolves who just claimed her body and soul. Get out, she manages. All of you. I can't. We'll be right outside, Rowan promises. They leave. All except Ghost, who's shifted back to pup form and refuses to budge from her side. Mira touches her chest. 5 white wolf prints. Permanent. Undeniable. She's been claimed, owned, mated, and she's still alive. Outside, through the bond, she feels them, their guilt, their hope, their desperate wish that she'll forgive them. She doesn't know if she will, but she knows with absolute certainty that she'll never be alone again. Whether that's a blessing or a curse remains to be seen. Chapter 6. The Omega. Who wasn't broken? Mira wakes to 5 heartbeats that aren't hers. The sensation is overwhelming. Each pulse distinct, each rhythm slightly different, all layered over her own like a symphony she never asked to hear. She gasps, sitting upright. Her hand flies to her chest. 5 white wolf prints, still there. Still burning with residual power. The brothers are outside. She can feel them through the bond, their locations, their emotions, their desperate hope that she's okay. We can hear your thoughts. Theron's voice echoes in her mind. If you let us. She slams mental walls up so hard it makes her head throb. The door opens. Kael enters, carrying water and clean clothes. His expression is carefully neutral, but the bond betrays him. Guilt, fear, determination. How long? Her voice is rough. 6 hours. She looks down. Her wound is completely healed. Not even a scar. Just the 5 white prints arranged in a perfect circle over her heart. You were dying, Kael says flatly. I'd do it again. You should have asked. There wasn't time to ask. Then you should have let me die. His jaw clenches. Through the bond, she feels his rage, not at her, but at the very suggestion. No. You took my choice. I saved your life. Same thing. Her shout surprises them both. Silence. Heavy. Painful. Then something shifts inside her. Power unfurling like wings she didn't know she had. Her skin tingles. Her vision sharpens. Aldric, she calls, not knowing how she knows he's close. Bring me a mirror. He appears instantly, carrying the small hand mirror from her washstand. Doesn't speak, just hands it over and retreats. Mira looks at her reflection. Her eyes aren't brown anymore. They're silver, bright, luminous, inhuman silver, like ghosts. What did you do to me? She whispers, but the anger is fading into something else. Wonder, terror, recognition. Theron steps inside, moving with his characteristic caution. The bond awakened your bloodline. His voice is gentle, professorial. You're not a common Omega Mira. You never were. Then what am I? A White Fang mate, a Luna bloodline, dormant until now. The world tilts again. That's not possible. My family is old, Theron interrupts. Older than you knew. Lunas hide among common wolves, their power sleeping until they find their true mates. The bond awakens what was always there. My infertility was a lie. Aldric's voice is soft but certain. The poison 5 years ago wasn't meant to kill you. It was meant to suppress your true nature. The pieces click together with devastating clarity. Someone in her pack knew what she was. Knew she'd be dangerous once awakened. So they poisoned her, crippled her, declared her barren and useless. Who? The word comes out feral. Someone who feared what you'd become, Theron says. A Luna can heal, command, and, most terrifying to those who'd control you, see the truth in any wolf's heart. Mira stares at her silver eyes. I'm not broken. No, Kael says fiercely. You never were. You were sabotaged. The relief hits like a physical wave. 5 years of shame, of believing she was worthless, defective, cursed, all lies. All deliberate cruelty designed to keep her small and powerless. I want to know who did this, she says. I want names. We'll find them, Cassius promises from the doorway, and they'll pay. A small sound interrupts them, a whimper that shifts into something else. Ghost. Mira turns just as the pup's form begins to shimmer. His body lengthens, shifts, transforms. Not into his wolf form, into human. A toddler, maybe 3 years old, with white blonde hair and silver eyes and a smile that could light the world. He runs to her on unsteady legs, arms outstretched. Mama! The word hits Mira like a physical blow. Mama. The word she thought she'd never hear. The role she believed was stolen from her forever. She catches him, pulling him against her chest, and the sobs come. Wrecking, healing, years of grief and loss pouring out in great shuddering waves. Ghost pats her face with small hands. Mama sad? Happy, she manages. I'm happy. The brothers stand frozen. Even they didn't expect this. He imprinted on you, Theron says quietly. From the moment you fed him, kept him warm, loved him when he had nothing. You became his mother in every way that matters. Rowan is grinning. Guess that makes us uncles? Don't push it, Kael mutters, but there's warmth in his voice. The moment stretches. Perfect, impossible, fragile. Then Cassius stiffens. We have company. 3 wolves approach through the trees. Not hostile. Messengers carrying a scroll sealed with the High Council's mark. Kael shifts, intercepting them before they can reach the cabin. The exchange is brief. Tense. He returns in human form, scroll in hand, expression grim. We're being summoned, he says, to stand trial before the High Council. For what? Mira asks, though she already knows. Corrupting an Omega, violating territorial law, claiming without pack permission. Theron takes the scroll, scanning it quickly. They're calling it an act of aggression. Garrick survived, Aldric adds. He's the one who filed the complaint. Of course he did. Rowan's playfulness is gone. And if we refuse, they'll declare war, Kael says simply. Mira stands, still holding Ghost. When? 3 days. Through the bond, she feels their conflict, their desire to protect her warring with the knowledge that running will only make it worse. We'll go, she decides. Mira. We'll go, she repeats, stronger now. I'm not hiding, not anymore. Cassius moves closer, taking her free hand. His touch is gentle, reverent. You don't have to accept this bond. The claiming will keep you alive. But you can reject us after. We won't force you to stay. She looks at him, then at each brother in turn. Kael's fierce protection, ready to burn the world for her. Theron's gentle wisdom, seeing connections others miss. Cassius's raw devotion, 200 years of loneliness ending in her arms. Aldric's quiet strength, speaking volumes in silence. Rowan's playful warmth, bringing light to darkness. And Ghost, calling her mama like she's always been his. I spent 5 years alone, she whispers, convinced I was worthless, broken, better off dead. She squeezes Cassius's hand. I'm not going back to that. Not now. Not ever. Relief floods the bond from all 5 brothers. Then we face the council together, Kael says. As a pack, Theron adds. As family, Aldric finishes. That night, Mira dreams of running. 6 wolves, 5 massive and white, 1 small and learning, racing through forest with moonlight on their fur. She's never felt so fast, so free. so whole. She wakes to footsteps outside. Another messenger. This one's expression is carefully blank as he hands Kael a second scroll. Kael reads it. His face goes cold. What? Mira asks. Your old pack has come forward, as witnesses against you. Her stomach drops. Who? Kael's eyes meet hers. Led by your brother, the healer who declared you barren. Darian. Of course it's Darian. She closes her eyes, seeing him clearly now. His too quick diagnosis, his insistence that she leave the pack immediately, his relief when she finally disappeared into the forest. He has a scar, she says slowly, across his palm. From an accident with a poisoned blade when we were teenagers? Theron's expression sharpens. What kind of poison? The kind that causes slow death if it enters the bloodstream. He barely survived. She opens her eyes. The same kind that's in my system now. The brothers exchange glances. He tried to kill you, Rowan breathes. Your own brother. Twice, Mira corrects. Once 5 years ago. Once 3 days ago. He'll pay for what he did, Kael promises, and there's murder in his tone. Mira's eyes flash silver. Power thrums through her veins. Luna power, awakened and hungry. No, she says quietly. I will. Chapter 7. The Luna Who Reclaimed Everything. The High Council chamber is carved from ancient stone, vast enough to hold hundreds of wolves. Today it's packed. Alphas fill every tier, their eyes hungry for blood, for justice, for the spectacle of watching White Fangs brought low. Mira walks between Kael and Cassius, her spine straight, her silver eyes unwavering. The 5 brothers form a protective formation around her, with Ghost in his pup form pressed against her legs. The head alpha, Counselor Brennan, gray-furred and ancient, sits on the highest throne. His expression is already contemptuous. The accused will step forward. Kael moves first, his brothers follow. Mira walks with them, not behind. We call the first witness, Brennan announces, Darian of the Northern Ridge Pack. Mira's brother steps into the light. He's changed in 5 years. Harder, leaner. His healer's hands are steady as he faces the council, his expression perfectly crafted grief. Tell us what you know of the Omega, Brennan commands. Darian's voice carries. My sister was always weak, unstable. After her accident, she became worse, paranoid, claiming the pack wanted her gone. He shakes his head sadly. We tried to help her, but she ran, disappeared into the forest. Murmurs ripple through the chamber. And now, Brennan prompts, now she returns with these White Fangs. Darian's distaste is evident, claiming they saved her, that they're her mates. He looks directly at Mira. She seduced them with Omega tricks, drew them in with false helplessness, and now she's using them to gain power she was never meant to have. The council nods. This confirms their prejudices. Omegas are manipulative, weak, using their status to ensnare stronger wolves. Brennan turns to Mira. What do you say to these charges? She stands. The movement is fluid, powerful. Not Omega submission, Luna dominance. Let me tell you what really happened. Her voice carries ancient weight. Every wolf in the chamber feels it, the pull of Luna authority, the kind that hasn't been heard in generations. 5 years ago, I fell while gathering herbs, or that's what I was told. She touches her abdomen. I was poisoned, deliberately, with a toxin designed to suppress my true nature. Lies, Darian shouts. Mira doesn't flinch. My brother declared me barren, infertile, useless to the pack. He convinced our father I was better off exiled. Her eyes flash silver. But I wasn't barren. I was awakening, and someone needed me gone before I became too powerful to eliminate. This is absurd, Darian appeals to the council. She's lying to save herself. Mira smiles. It's not a kind expression. Then let the bond prove it. She moves faster than anyone expects, closing the distance between them. Her hand shoots out, gripping Darian's wrist. Silver light explodes from the contact point. Luna power, raw and undeniable, floods through the connection. the ability to see truth, to command honesty, to strip away every lie and pretense. Darian tries to pull away. Can't. His mouth opens against his will. I poisoned her. The words rip from his throat. Father promised me the pack if she was eliminated. A Baron Omega had no claim, but a Luna. His face contorts with effort, trying to stop, failing. A Luna could challenge for leadership, could take everything I'd worked for. The chamber erupts. Wolves shouting. Alphas rising. The council demanding order. Darian is still talking, the truth pouring out like poison from a wound. I tried to kill her 5 years ago. When that failed, I tried again when she surfaced with the White Fangs. Both times, she survived. Tears stream down his face. Not from remorse, from rage at his own betrayal. She was supposed to die. She was supposed to stay broken. Mira releases him. He collapses, gasping, and the chamber is chaos. Brennan's voice cuts through. Silence. The noise dies. The Omega's brother has confessed to attempted murder. Brennan's expression is unreadable. This changes the personal circumstances, but the White Fangs still broke territorial law. They claimed an Omega without pack permission. Kael steps forward. She had no pack. She was exiled, abandoned, left to die. Kael's voice is steel. We gave her what her own blood refused. Family, protection, love. And we'd do it again, Cassius adds, moving to stand beside him. In a heartbeat, Rowan agrees. Without hesitation, Aldric says quietly. Every time, Theron finishes. Brennan's jaw tightens. The law is clear. Claiming without pack consent is... A small figure walks into the center of the chamber. Ghost, in human form. 3 years old and impossibly brave, his white blonde hair catching the light. The chamber goes silent. She fed me when I was dying. His small voice echoes in the vast space. She kept me warm when I had nothing. She loved me when no one else did. He looks up at the council, silver eyes unwavering. If you hurt her, you hurt all of us, and we won't let that happen. The 4 brothers move instantly, forming a wall around Mira and Ghost. Kael is in front, radiating lethal intent. You want to punish her? He challenges the council. You'll have to go through us, all of us. This is treason, one alpha shouts. This is suicide. Another agrees, but others hesitate. Going to war with White Fangs, 5 ancient royals at full power, is a death sentence. Even if the council wins, the casualties would be catastrophic. Enough. The voice comes from the shadows. Ancient, female, absolute. An old woman steps into the light. Her hair is white, her face lined with centuries, but her eyes are sharp and silver. Elder Moira, the oldest wolf alive. Every wolf in the chamber drops to one knee. Even the council. Even Brennan. The White Fangs have royal claim to these territories. Moira's voice carries the weight of history. They are the original bloodline, the first pack. You, council, serve at their mercy, not the other way around. Brennan's face pales. Elder Moira. We didn't know, you didn't ask. She moves with surprising grace, circling the White Fangs and Mira. I was advisor to their mother, the last White Fang queen. I've been protecting these brothers for decades while they hid from extinction. She stops in front of Mira, studies her with those ancient silver eyes. The Luna bond is sacred. This Omega awakened to her true self through love and sacrifice. She is more worthy than anyone in this chamber. But the law, Brennan tries. The law bows to ancient right. Moira's smile is sharp. Or have you forgotten who wrote the laws you claim to uphold? Silence. The White Fangs are cleared. The Luna is recognized. Anyone who challenges this will answer to me. Moira's gaze sweeps the chamber. Am I understood? Yes, Elder, comes the chorus. Brennan looks like he's swallowed poison, but nods. The council recognizes Luna Mira and her bond with the White Fangs. And the traitor? Kael asks, eyes locked on Darian. Exile, Brennan says. Effective immediately. Darian lunges. Not at the council. at Mira. Claws extended, eyes wild. One last desperate attempt to finish what he started. Mira doesn't flinch. Kael catches him mid-leap, one hand closing around Darian's throat. The movement is effortless, brutal. She's not yours to hurt anymore. Kael's voice is quiet, deadly. She's ours, and we protect what's ours. He throws Darian across the chamber. The impact echoes. Guards drag him away, still snarling, still trying to reach her. Mira watches him go and feels nothing. No grief, no anger, just relief that it's finally over. 6 months later, the cabin has been transformed. Expanded into a compound with multiple buildings, a training ground, gardens overflowing with healing herbs. Rescued Omegas find sanctuary here. Abandoned pups find family. The broken find healing. Mira moves through the garden, her pregnant belly round and obvious. Twins, the healers say. White Fang babies, rare as miracles. Ghost, growing fast and speaking in full sentences now, helps her pick tomatoes. Mama, this one's ready, he announces, holding up a perfectly ripe fruit. Good eye, sweetheart. The 5 brothers watch from the porch. Kael is carving wood. Theron is reading. Cassius is sharpening weapons. Aldric is simply present. Rowan is grinning. Think she regrets feeding that pup? Rowan asks. Kael smiles, rare and genuine. Not for a second. Best decision she ever made, Theron adds. Second best, Cassius corrects. First was letting us stay. Aldric nods agreement. Mira feels their contentment through the bond. Feels their love, their certainty, their absolute devotion. She has everything she thought she'd lost: family, purpose, a future that stretches bright and endless. A messenger arrives on horseback. Young. Nervous. His scent carries urgency. The brothers tense immediately. Kael is on his feet before the messenger dismounts. Urgent news from the Eastern Territories, the messenger says, handing over a sealed scroll. Kael breaks the seal, reads. His expression darkens. What is it? Mira asks, moving to his side. There are rumors of another White Fang pack. Hidden for centuries. Kael's voice is tight. They've heard about you. About the Luna. They want to meet you. Theron takes the scroll, scanning quickly. His face goes carefully blank. What? Mira presses. They have questions. Theron looks up, meeting her eyes. About the prophecy. What prophecy? Cassius moves closer, one hand on his weapon. The one that says a Luna born from rejection will unite all White Fangs. His pause is heavy. Or destroy them. Mira's hand moves instinctively to her pregnant belly. The twins kick, strong, insistent, alive. Through the bond, she feels her mate's protectiveness surge, feels their uncertainty about what comes next. In the forest beyond the compound, something moves. Too large to be natural, too deliberate to be random. Eyes open in the darkness, ancient, watchful, patient. Somewhere in the Eastern Territories, a forgotten bloodline stirs. They've been waiting centuries for this moment. For the Luna, who would either save them or end them. The prophecy is awakening. And Mira, who once thought herself broken, barren, worthless, stands at the center of something far larger than she ever imagined. The game has changed. The pieces are moving. And in her belly, 2 White Fang children grow stronger every day, carrying a destiny no one can predict. The real story is just beginning.